TSQL what? Programming. What is T stands for? What? Transact SQL. TSQL programming. TSQL programming. Okay, up to now you written commands. Now we are going to see like database programming. You learn database commands. Now we are going to see database what? Programming. In this actually, first you learn what like a simple programming. Okay. Then first how to write programs, simple programming. And you learn how to write conditional statements, how to use what? Loops, and how to use what? Cursors. Next one, what the next one is? Error handling. Next one, what the next one is? Stored procedures. Next one, functions. Next one, triggers. Next one, dynamic SQL. That's all. So this is what TSQL programming topics. Okay. Then no, that's all. So this is the sequence. Okay, now then first we'll learn simple programming, how to use conditional, how to use loops, cursors, error handling, procedures, functions, triggers, dynamic SQL. Okay, then so then actually see why here. What is this TSQL programming? What is the need? What is the need for TSQL programming? Actually, up to now, so have you interacted with SQL Server? Okay, now have you interacted with SQL Server? Okay, then see, this is user, this is SQL Server. Have you interacted with SQL Server? Have you like how many commands you submitted at a time? How many commands you submitted at a time? One by one command. Yes. Then so you submit this command, some what, like you submit this command, some this is insert command, and you submit this command to SQL Server. SQL Server execute this command. Next you want to update. Again you submit what? Update command. You submit update command to SQL Server. You want to delete. Again you submit what's it? Delete command. You submit delete command to SQL Server. You submit one by one command to SQL Server. Insert, update, delete. Okay. Understood? Then so here number of requests going to SQL Server what? Increases. Number of requests going to SQL Server what? Increases. So this degrades what's that? Performance. This is in SQL. But in TSQL programming, what you can do, whatever the commands you want to execute. What commands you want to execute? I want to execute what? Insert, update, and what's that? Delete. I want to execute these three commands, and all these three commands can be grouped into one program. You can group these three commands into what? One program, and you submit this program to SQL Server. Group the commands into one program, submit that program to SQL Server. So SQL Server will execute these commands and gives what's that? Response. That means what? Number of requests going to SQL Server are what? Reduced. When number of requests are reduced, performance is what? Improved. So TSQL programming improves what? TSQL programming improves what? Performance. Okay, then. So it improves performance. Understood? Then. So this is the, like I'm discussing the differences between SQL and what? TSQL programming. So what are the TSQL features? Then one is improves performance. And improves performance. Okay, then now improves performance. Then see in TSQL, SQL commands can be grouped into what? Grouped into one block. Block means program. One block. And we submit that block to SQL Server. Okay, we submit that block to SQL Server. So in TSQL, okay, then in TSQL, number of requests what? In TSQL, number of requests going to SQL Server are what? Reduced. And performance is what? Performance improves. Number of requests going to SQL Server reduced, performance is improved. Okay, then now next supports what? Supports conditional statements. Then supports conditional statements. Then what? Okay, supports conditional statements. Then now, so in up to now in SQL, have we written conditional statements? If else, no. But in TSQL supports what? Conditional statements. We can execute the statements based on the condition. Like I can do this. If condition true, I can execute update command. Condition false, I can execute delete command. This is possible in TSQL, but whereas it's not possible in what? SQL. In SQL, what you can do, either you can execute update or delete. But condition true, update, condition false, what? Delete. Not possible. But this is possible in what? programming. Otherwise, if condition true, what's it? Commit, condition false, what? Roll back. This is possible in TSQL program. In TSQL programming, we can execute the SQL commands based on what? Conditions. Okay, then so it supports conditional statements like if then else. So here in TSQL, we can execute SQL commands. We can execute SQL commands based on what? Based on the conditions. Next one, supports what? Supports what? Loops. Supports loops. Okay, supports loops. Then TSQL, in TSQL supports looping statements. You know loops? Okay, na? Then while loop, for loop, like that. Here we can execute the statements repeatedly multiple times. Suppose there is an update command is there. I want to execute this update command 60 times. I want to execute this update command, what's it? 60 times. So then what you can do, you do one thing, keep this update command inside a what? Inside a loop. Keep this update command inside a loop. Execute the loop 60 times. If the loop is executed 60 times, update command is also executed what? 60 times. Okay, na? Then so now that is possible in TSQL. In TSQL, okay, then in TSQL, otherwise what? Loops, what is purpose of loops is like loops are, okay, na? Loops are used to execute statements what? Repeatedly multiple times. Okay, loops are used to execute statements repeatedly multiple times. Okay, then next, fourth one. And supports what? Error handling. Supports error handling. Then supports error handling. Okay, supports error handling. And see, like actually, then what is this is? You take, for example, suppose, for example, I'm executing a command like create table what? A then tiny int. You know this what is the range of this tiny int? Tiny int range is what? 0 to 255. What is the range of this? 0 to 255. Table is created. I'm inserting the data into A. Insert into A. Suppose I'm inserting 1000. Then what is this command gives? Error. Because this value is exceeding the range. The range is 0 to 255. But given value is exceeding this range. Then what this command gives? Error. Arithmetic overflow for the data type tiny int value 1000. Okay, na? So you are getting some error. Yes or no? I want to, actually, this is the error or message generated by SQL Server. I want to replay this message with my own message. I want to replay this message with my own message. I want to display a message. Please enter the value between 0 to 255. Can I show that message in SQL? Can you replay this system generated message with your own message? Not possible. That is not possible in SQL, but that is possible in what? TSQL program. In TSQL programming, if any statement causes error, we can replace that message with our own message. But that is not possible in what? SQL. Okay, na? What is that is called error handling. Okay, na? Then so in TSQL, in TSQL, if any statement causes error, then we can handle that error and we can display our own simple and what? User-friendly message. If any statement causes error, we can handle that error and we can display our own simple and user-friendly message. Okay, then we can handle that error. We can display our own simple and user-friendly message. Next. Next one. Next. Another one. And TSQL supports what? Reusability. Supports reusability. Okay. Supports reusability. Means the programs can be reused. Means programs can be what? Reuse. You can reuse the programs. Okay. Then so like for example, what? Supports reusability. For example, then see, this is what this is what's a SQL Server. Okay, na? This is a SQL Server. SQL Server database. This is the database. This is who is managing this database. SQL Server is managing the database. And what are these? All these are applications connected to SQL Server, front-end applications. Okay, na? All these applications are connected to what? SQL Server. Okay, then suppose let's say this is banking applications. This is what? Banking application. Suppose in this application, I want to implement money transfer. In this is one bank application. In that, I want to, let's say net banking. Net banking is application. No? So that application provides money transfer. Net banking application provides money transfer facility. Yes. So in this application, I want to implement money transfer. Here I want to implement money transfer. Here I want to implement money transfer. In all these applications, I want to implement what? Money transfer. Then you have to write the code here. Money transfer code. Here you have to write the money transfer code. Here you have to write the money transfer. In all these applications, you have to repeat the money transfer code. So instead of repeating this code in number of applications, you write TSQL program. You write what? TSQL program for money transfer. When you write a TSQL program for money transfer, it is stored in what? That program is stored in database. If you write a TSQL program for money transfer, that program is stored in database. When this program is stored in database, then what? Once it is stored in database, so it is available to what? That program. That program is available to all the applications connected to the database. Okay, once it is stored in database, so database is all these applications connected to the database. Yes or no? So this program is available to all the applications. So this application can call this program. This application can call this program. This application can call this program. All these applications can call this money transfer program. What this is called? This is called what? Reusable. So you write a TSQL program. It is stored in database. Once it is stored in database, it is available to all the applications connected to the database. So all these applications can call that program. Okay, then. So this is reusability. What is this is? TSQL programs can be stored in what's that? Database. TSQL programs can be stored in database, and applications which are connected to database can reuse these programs. So TSQL programs can be stored in database, and applications which are connected to database can reuse these programs. Okay, that's this is what then advantages, features. So one is what improves performance, because you don't need to send one by one command. You can group the commands into one program. You send that program. So number of requests are what? Number of requests going to SQL Server are what? Reduced. Performance is improved. And suppose conditional statements, we can execute the statements based on the conditions. Supports loops, we can execute the statements repeatedly multiple times. And supports error handling. So we can, if any statement causes error, we can handle that error. We can display our own simple and what? User-friendly message. And supports what's that? Reusability. So the programs can be reused. You can call that programs from number of applications connected to the database. Okay, then. So now, so TSQL programs are two types, or you can say programs, or you can say blocks. Block means program. TSQL blocks are two types. One is anonymous blocks. Another one, named blocks. TSQL blocks are two types, anonymous, named. What are the named blocks? Procedures, stored procedures, functions, triggers. Okay. Then so these programs are created with what? Okay. See, these programs are created with what, sir? Name. That's why these programs are called what? Named blocks. They are created with what? Name. And these programs are not created with what? Name. Name, anonymous means without name. Anonymous means what? Without name. The programs created without name. Anonymous. The programs created with name. Named blocks. Okay. Then. So actually, this is not important for you. This is not important for you. This is not real time. What is real time? This one. Named blocks are important for you. Okay, then. So this is not used in real time projects. So this is used in projects. But we cannot directly go to this. We cannot directly start named blocks, because before going to this, you need some basic programming. You need some what? Basic programming. What that is? Like how to write programs, how to declare the variables, how to use if condition, how to use loops. Okay, na? Then before going to this, you need some basics programming. How you learn the basic programming? You learn the basic programming with what? Anonymous blocks. So once you learn the basic programming, then we can start what? Named blocks. Okay. Then, so first we'll start with what? Anonymous blocks. Okay, anonymous block. Then, so what is anonymous? Okay, na? What is anonymous block? A program without what's it? A TSQL program without name is called anonymous block. A program without name is called anonymous block. Okay, now then no. So next, in TSQL programs, mainly we use three statements. Okay, na? In this, the following statements are used in TSQL program. The following statements are used in TSQL. Mainly we use three statements. One is declare, another one set, another one print. In TSQL programming, mainly we use three statements: declare, set, print. Okay, then declare, set, print first. Okay, then so first one, what is declare statement? Declare statement. What for declare statement? This is used to declare what's that? In every programming language, you use what? In programming languages, you use what? Variables. You use variables. For storing the data temporarily, we use what? Variables. Before we use variables, you need to declare the variable. How to declare the variable? By using what? Declare statement. So use it to declare what's that? Variables. So in programming languages, we use variables. And before we use variables, first you need to declare the variable. How to declare the variable? What is the syntax? Okay, na? Declare what? Declare at the rate, variable name, data type, size. Size is their size. So this is the syntax for declaring the variable. Here, every variable name should be prefixed with at the rate. The variable name should be prefixed with what? At the rate. Okay, then declare at the rate, variable name, data type, size. Example, what? Declare at the rate what's her? X. Declare at the rate X. Then, so I'm declaring the data type as what? Integer. So declare X integer. X is what? X is a what? Variable. Variable of what type? Integer type. I want to declare a variable of character type. Then at the rate S. S is what? Varchar. Varchar of what? 10. I want to declare a variable of date type. Declare at the rate what? D date. So this is how to declare the variables. Declare variable name space data type. Okay, na? Then. So you're declaring the variables what? Line by line. Declaring the variables line by line. Or you can declare the variables what? Single line. How? Declare what? At the rate X integer. At the rate S what? Varchar of 10. At the rate what? D date. So you can declare the variables in single line also. Instead of declaring line by line, so we can declare all the variables in single line. Okay, then next one. So then next. So this is declare. What are the next? What are the next one is set. Set statement. Set statement. Set statement used to assign value to variable. Set statement is used to assign value to the variable. Okay, now set statement is used to assign value to the variable. Okay, and then means it is like this. Set what at the rate what set variable name equals to value. Set at the rate variable name equals to value. To assign value to the variable, we use set statement. Okay, I want to assign some value to x. I want to assign some value to x. Then what? Set. Set what? At the rate x equals to 100. Set x equal to 100. Okay, then next, I want to assign some value to s. Then set s equals to abc. Some. Okay, na? Then I want to assign some value to d. I want to assign some value to d. Set at the rate d equals to get date. So what is assigned to d? Get date. What is the get date returns? Today's date. So the today's date is assigned to d. Today's date is assigned to d. Understood? So this is what, like how to assign the value to the variable. But you cannot write all these three in one statement. You have to write separate statements. You cannot write x equal to 100 comma s equal to abc comma at the rate d equal to get date. You cannot write it in one line. You have to write separate lines. Okay, now then declare. Okay, you can declare all the variables in one with one statement, but assigning values, okay, separate statements. Okay, what the next one is print. Print statement. Print statement. Print statement. What is print statement? Print, what's that? Print, then print what's that? Variable. So print variable value. Print variable. Print at the rate variable. Sorry, at the rate. At the rate variable. Example, I want to print value of x. Print what? At the rate x. Print x means what? X value is printed. Print at the rate x means x value. What is x value? 100. Prints 100. If you want, you can print a message also. Like I want to print what's it? Print hello. Then hello is printed. Print hello means hello is printed. So this is value. You can print a variable. You can print string. Hello is a string, not a variable. It's not a variable. It is a string. String is enclosed in single quotes. Okay, na? So this string is printed as it is. But what is x is variable. So variable is prefixed with at the rate. Okay, then that's all. So there are what? 3 statements. One is declare, another one set, another one print. Okay, na? Then suppose, for example, Like just see, declare what's that? A, integer B, integer C, integer. Set, assign some value to A, assign some value to A equals to 100. Assign some value to B, set B equals to 200. Add these two values, assign to C, at the rate C equals to A plus B. Print value of C. Print value of C. Print C. Okay, na? So declare the variables. I declared 3 variables. Assign some value to A, assign some value to B, add the 2 values, assign to C, print C. Now run this. How much it prints? 300. Okay, na? Then. So this is just how to write what's a program. Okay, then. Next. So this is what example program is. The example program, and so what the output will get 300. Okay, then. Next. Suppose here, then 1 second. Then, for example, write a program, okay, na, to input date and print day of the week. Input the date and print day of the week. Sunday na, Monday na, Tuesday na, Wednesday na. Okay, input the date and print day of the week. So here, take a variable of what type? Take a variable of what type? Date type. Because what you have to input? You have to input the date now. Take a variable of what type? Date type. At the rate D date. Next. Input the date, store the date into this variable. Input the date, store the date into this variable. Then set. Set what? At the rate D equals to. Input the date, store the date into this D. At the rate D equals to some date, any date. Otherwise, you can give get date. So what is assigned to D? Today's date. What do you want to print? I want to print day of the week. Then what? Print. Print. How to print day of the week? Sunday na, Monday na, Tuesday na, Wednesday na, like this. There is a function. That function will give the day of the week. What is that function? There are 2 functions, boss. Date part, date name. Date part and date name. So date name. Date name. What do you want? Day of the week. To get the day of the week, suppose if you say YY, what you will get? Year part. MM, month part. Suppose DD, day part. But you want day of the week, then DW. day of the week. Day of the week. From which date? Not, don't use get date because it's already assigned to the variable. Use that variable here. What is the variable name? At the rate D. Already the date is assigned to this variable. Use that variable here. So in this example, input the date, printing the day of the week. So what date name returns? Date name returns day of the week. Whatever value written by date name, print statement will print that value. Date name returns a value. The value written by date name is printed by print statement. Okay, na? Then so run this. Run this here. So what is this will print? This will print what's that? Thursday. Okay, then next. So like not only get date, any date you can give. You can give any date, but in single quotes, give that. What is 5YYMMDD format that follow that format YYYMMDD. Okay, na? Then what? Suppose 2023. Okay, na? Then month. So 01, suppose 01. January 1st, Sunday. Okay, na? Then any date you can pass. What it prints? Day of the week. Not only get date. Understood? You know. Next. So this is what how to write what's that program. Declare, assign value, print. Okay, then. But actually, see, this is not actually, this is general programming, adding the numbers. So printing the day of the week, general programming. But this is not for general programming. Okay, so this is for database programming. So this is TSQL is mainly used for what? Database programming, not for general programming. Okay, then so use TSQL for database operations, not for general calculations. Okay, database operations means updating, inserting, deleting. Okay, na? Then so now let's see database programming with TSQL. Okay, database programming with TSQL. Then now, sir, if you want to perform operations on database from any language, to perform operations on database, execute SQL commands from that language. Understood? From any language, perform operations on database, execute what? Execute SQL commands, execute SQL commands from that language. Suppose from Java, you want to perform operations on database, execute SQL commands from Java program. From C#, you want to perform operations on database, execute SQL commands from C# program. From your C# application, execute what? SQL commands. Can we execute SQL commands from C# program? Yes. How? By using ADO.NET. By using what? You use ADO.NET to execute SQL commands from C# program. Yes or no? So like here also, from TSQL to perform operations on database, execute SQL commands from TSQL program. Okay, na? From any language, because the database understands only SQL commands. So from any language to work with the database, execute what? SQL commands. Okay, then so from TSQL program to perform operations over database, execute SQL commands from TSQL program. Execute SQL commands from TSQL program. What commands can be executed? The following commands can be executed from TSQL program. The following commands can be executed from TSQL program. The following commands can be executed from TSQL program. One is what commands we can execute? DML commands, DRL commands. Third one, TCL commands. So these commands can be executed. DML, DRL, TCL commands. Okay, then what are the DML commands? Insert, update, delete, match. What is the DRL command? Select. What is the TCL commands? Commit, rollback. If you want, not required save transaction. Okay. If you want, you can save transaction. Okay. So this is TCL commands. So these commands can be executed from TSQL program. Insert, update, delete, select, commit, rollback, like this. Okay. Then. So what are the other two languages? DDL and what's that? DCL. But we don't execute. Not you can't. You can, if you want, you can execute. But we don't execute. Usually we don't execute these commands from TSQL program. Usually we don't execute these commands, DDL commands and DCL commands from TSQL program. But how to execute these commands, we'll see later. There is a separate procedure. We'll see that. So at present, what these three: DML, DRL, TCL commands. Okay. Then. But what about the syntax here? Okay, now what about the syntax? The syntax is same. Insert, update, delete. Syntax is same. Yes. Match, same. Commit, rollback, same. So only select statement syntax changes. All the command syntax is same. Only what? Select statement syntax changes. So insert command is same, update is same, delete is same, commit is same, rollback is same. Only the select statement syntax changes. So what is the syntax of select statement? Okay, then why is select statement syntax changes here? So actually this is the database table. This is the EMP table. Okay, then, and this is your program. You're writing a TSQL program. This is your program. This is the TSQL program. And this is the EMP table. Okay, then. So I'm writing this program. I'm writing a program. I'm writing a program to calculate the tax. I'm writing a program to calculate what's her tax. To calculate the tax, what you need? To calculate the tax, what you need? Salary. To calculate the tax, I need salary. Yes or no? So in SQL, how you write to get the salary? In SQL, how you write to get the salary? Select what? Sal from EMP, where employee number equal to 7369. So what it just gives 7369 salary. Okay, na? So this query is displaying the salary. When you run this query displays the salary. But here I'm writing this program not displaying the salary. I don't want to display the salary. My program is to calculate the tax. For calculating the tax, I need salary. But if you write query like this query will display the salary. But I don't want to display the salary. I want this salary to calculate the tax. Then do one thing. So get the salary from EMP table. Get the salary from EMP table. Store the salary into some variable X. Get the salary from table. Store the salary into some variable. Don't print the salary. Instead of printing the salary, then store the salary into some variable. Store the salary into some variable and use this variable to calculate the tax. Use this what? Variable. Use this variable to calculate the tax. So that is why the select statement syntax changes here. Then how to write select statement? Okay, then select statement syntax. Select statement syntax. How to write the select statement? Then select what? At the rate variable 1 equals to column 1. At the rate variable 2 equal to column 2. So on from table name. Next one, where condition. Set at the rate variable equal to column 1, variable 2 equals to column 2 from table name, where condition. Okay, na? Then now this is how how to write select statement in TSQL. Only exa. What is that exa here? This one. What? Variable. Okay, na? Column 1. Variable equals to column. This column 1 value is assigned to this variable. This column value is assigned to this variable. Suppose example, like just see, for example, I write something like this. Select what? Select what's her? Sal. Select S equal to salary from EMP, where employee number equals to 7369. Okay, na? Select at the rate S equals sal from EMP, where employee number equal to 7369. What happens? What is this query will select? This query will select 7369 salary. That salary is copied to at the rate S. This query will select 7369 salary. That salary is copied to at the rate S. Okay, na? Then understood? Then what is S? Variable. Variable of what type? It should be what type? You have to declare this variable now. You should declare this variable with what data type? You read it, just like what you are assigning to S. What you are assigning to S? Salary. Salary is what type? Money type. S must be what type? Money type. That's all. Okay, now this variable should be what type? What you are assigning to this variable? Salary. Salary is what type? Money type. S must be declared as money type. I'll write like this. For example, at the rate what's her N equals to E name. I'll write like this. Then you need to declare two variables. One is at the rate N, at the rate S. At the rate N should be what type? Varchar. Because what you are assigning to this at the rate N? Name. Name is what type? Varchar. So this variable must be varchar. This variable must be money type. That's all. Understood? Then. So these variables are declared what type? Depends on what you are assigning to this variable. According to that, you declare this variable type. Okay, then. So this is how you write select statement in TSQL program. Get the data from table, copy the data to the variables. Okay, now? Then. Okay. So we'll continue this tomorrow.